Good morning. Welcome to Westside Unitarian Universalist Church, where compassion leads us to work for justice and equality. We're glad you're visiting with us today, and it is our hope that you will find something here that nourishes your heart, feeds your mind, and grows your spirit. I'm Daniel Melendez, and I'll be our worship leader for this morning's service. Be you a spiritual leader, an atheist, or a theist, Westside is the community of many beliefs, genders, and sexualities, a community of diverse cultural, racial, and class backgrounds, a community of varied abilities and gifts. Some here find inspiration in the great books, others in the great outdoors, and others still in great conversations. Whoever you may be, all are welcome in our inclusive congregation. The newcomers and longtime friends alike, together we say, welcome. At Westside, we are raising the next generation of Unitarian Universalists, and we want them to know that they are an important part of our community. Several years ago, we chose to include all family members in our services. So welcome to children and youth of all ages. There are a number of announcements included in your order of service. Please take any of them with you that you might need as reminders later this week or to share with others. I wasn't told of any special announcements from the inserts. Does anybody? Okay, well, look at your inserts because there's lots of fun and parties going on. For those of you joining us online, please visit us today if you are, or visiting with us today. If you're not already on our mailing list, please sign up by clicking on the link at the bottom of the westsideuu.org website. And for those of you here in person with us, please take this moment to silence all of your devices. This morning's reflection is In Search of Empathy by Minister Emeritus Reverend Dr. Russell Elleven. So now I invite you to take a deep breath. Exhale. Where you are, settle into this sacred space that we create. Let us worship together as we listen to this morning's prelude, Children of the Human Race. This hymn is also be our opening hymn, and our second Sunday choir will give us a preview of this new to us hymn before we sing as a congregation. You are welcome to follow along in the gray hymnal, song number 302. Our opening words are Empathy is a Choice We Make by Leslie Jameson. Empathy isn't something that just happens to us, a meteor shower of synapses firing across the brain. It is also a choice we make to pay attention, to extend ourselves. It's made of exertion, that dowdier cousin of impulse. Sometimes we care for another because we know we should, or because it's asked of us. But that doesn't make our caring hollow. The act of choosing simply means we've committed ourselves to a set of behaviors greater than the sum of our individual inclinations. This confession of effort chased against the notion that empathy should always rise unbidden. That genuine means the same thing as unwilled. That intentionality is the enemy of love. But I believe in intention, and I believe in work, and I believe in waking up in the middle of the night and are packing our bags and leaving our worst selves behind for our better ones. As do many Unitarian Universalist congregations do, we begin our time together this morning with the lighting of a chalice. I would like to invite Joy Houston and Bridget Fowler to light our chalice this morning. The chalice is a symbol of Unitarian Universalist faith and represents the Unitarian Universalist Association, or UUA. The flaming chalice symbolizes the heritage of our past, the warmth of the community, and the light of hope within this church today.
This chalice is lit for you by Tara Humphreys. Whether you are from the south, the east, the north, or the west, whether you were born into this faith, found it, or it found you, whether you feel at home or still trying to find your place, whether you believe in God, are open to mystery, or still have no idea, whether you are unemployed, underemployed, cobbling things together, overworking, or in school, whether you are holding anxiety, grief, confusion, anger, hope, restlessness, or deep peace, Unitarian Universalism has a place for you. It is right here, and this chalice is lit for you.
Thank you, Joy and Bridget. Our opening hymn is 302, Children of the Human Race. In your gray hymnal, please stand if you're able and so moved, and join our song leader, Linda Ice. Please remain standing and join me in our affirmation. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest of truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to work for justice through action, to serve others and community, to the end that also shall grow into harmony with creation. Thus do we covenant with one another. You may be seated. We sound great this morning, guys. Please come forward if you are young at heart or would like to have a close-up view of the Time for All Ages presented by our Director of Lifetime Religious Education, the superb Nickety Kennedy. Louder, louder, come on. We will sing the children back to their seats with number 16, "'Tis a Gift to be Simple," in the gray hymnal.
Good morning. I'm a little moving slow this morning, sorry. And I'm having a difficult time with my glasses. Okay, good morning. Justin, you want to sit right here next to me? Awesome. How are you guys today? Good. You have to migrate? Yeah. We have to be right here, but we have to be on the other. Oh, well, you're welcome to move. You're welcome to move around, Tal. Okay, let's try that all over again. Good morning. Good morning. I love the energy in this place. So today, I brought with me a box. A box. That's a great question, Tao. A box of what? Let's see. Justin, can you hold it for me, Justin? Is it heavy? You think it's heavy? Let's see. I can shake it. What do you think might be in here? You think there's a solid or a rock? It is something solid. You can eliminate some things.
It can't be Lego because it sounds like one solid object.
It can't be a Lego because it doesn't sound like enough pieces. That's true. That is a great observation, Riley. It doesn't shake a whole lot, so it must be pretty big. Okay. Is it another box? No, but that's a great idea. It is an umbrella. Actually, it's two umbrellas. No, I'm going to hold on to these today. Oops, I'm not going to pop open this one. So I'm not going to actually open the umbrellas, but I brought them because I need you to help me tell a story. But also I brought them in case you forgot what they look like, because we haven't seen rain lately. So I thought I'd just bring a quick reminder. So what is an umbrella used for? Oh, thank you, Riley. Thank you for doing that. I appreciate that. What is an umbrella used for? Cover, Natalie? To keep us dry. That's exactly right. It can also be used for shade. Absolutely, especially in the Texas summers. I don't know if you know, but it gets hot in Texas in the summer. Yeah, and sometimes when we have some shade, it's really nice. So I have a story for you. Cadence, if you'll hold those dice still for me, thank you. So once upon a time, a long time ago, but not too long ago, I was standing out in the weather. And all of a sudden, these clouds rolled in, and I heard roars and booms and crackles, and it started raining on me. And I didn't have an umbrella. So as I finished this story, I forgot to ask you guys to help me do something. If I say boom, I need y'all to respond with boom. Not scream it, but say it loudly. Or we're going to say, no, you can respond with a boom. Thank you for asking. And I want you to say it loudly, but don't scream it. Are you guys ready? Let's practice, everybody. On the count of 3, you're going to say boom. Loudly, but not scream. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Boom! That was pretty good. Okay, good. So when I say the word sanctuary, I need you to whisper the word sanctuary. Okay? Whisper voice. We're going to say sanctuary in the count of 3. Are y'all ready? 1, 2, 3. Sanctuary. Hey, y'all did that pretty well. I think you're ready for the story. Thank you. So once upon a time, there was a kid. She was about 8 or 9, or maybe 6, 7. We don't really know. 6, 7. That's right. That's right. Who was caught outside in a sudden rainstorm. She ran inside to the nearest store to wait out the rainstorm. And as she reached close to the door, a bright flash of thunder, boom, followed. Boom! Very good, very good. So this kiddo knew they would be stuck in that store for a while because it was raining and they didn't want to get wet. So this kiddo looked around at some of the different items in the store, and the shopkeeper appeared. The shopkeeper was the oldest woman the little girl had ever seen. Her hair was as white as the snow, and her face was a little wrinkly, and the girl was brave to admit she was scared. "Young woman," the old shopkeep said, "can I bring you something?" The little girl pointed outside, too afraid to talk. "Ah," said the old shopkeep. "Did you run in here to escape the rain?" The little girl nodded slowly, and another loud boom. Very good. Of thunder shook the store. "Well, you can wait here if you'd like to stay in my little sanctuary." Very good. "We've got a nice sturdy roof over our heads, and it'll keep you dry and safe." The little girl appreciated the offer, but she really needed to get back outside and continue on her way. The old shopkeep could tell the little girl was a little hesitant to go back outside. "Or," the shopkeep continued, you could head outside with this." And the shopkeep held open an umbrella. "Take this umbrella," said the old shopkeep. "It's raining and I don't know when it'll stop, but I do know that you can stay dry under this portable sanctuary." The little girl beamed. She was so appreciative. But then she stopped in her tracks. "But I don't have any money," said the little girl. The old shopkeep waved her off. "No worries. Just be sure to offer the umbrella to someone else when they need it." The little girl accepted the umbrella with a big smile, headed back outside, opened the umbrella, and went on her way. The little girl was happy and dry. She started skipping down the street, as you do when you have an umbrella and it's raining. She skipped down the street and was perfectly happy when she saw a man wearing a suit, trying to keep dry with a newspaper over his head. She heard another loud boom. Very good. And the newspaper began to fall apart under the heavy rain. She skipped over to the man in the suit and held the umbrella up as high as she could. She wasn't done using it, that's true. "Thank you," said the man. Remembering the words from the old shopkeep, the little girl told the man, "I'm not sure how long it's going to be raining, but I do know that you can keep dry under this portable sanctuary." Very good. The man smiled in relief. He had been having a really bad day, see? He was wearing a suit because he was on his way to a job interview. He had been without work for a long time and was desperate. He had to walk to the interview because he couldn't afford the car. When it started to rain, he felt very frustrated because it wasn't good luck. He would show up to his really important job interview soaked, and he knew it would make a not great first impression. But when the little girl spotted her family in the store across the street, "Here," said the little girl, "take the umbrella with you. I see my family right over there." The man was like, "I couldn't possibly take your umbrella." She said, "No, please, just take it. Just be sure to offer the umbrella to someone else when they need it." The little girl put the umbrella into his hands and then ran off to meet her family. The man couldn't believe how nice the little girl was. He knew he had to hurry, though, because it was almost time for his very important interview. And another boom of thunder caused him to start running. Well, I can't tell you that the man got the job he was interviewing for or not. And soon enough, he did get the job he was interviewing for. And soon enough, he was able to afford several umbrellas. And whenever it would rain, he would bring not only his umbrella that the little girl had given him, but he would bring 2 or 3 other small umbrellas to give away to people who were stuck outside in the rain. And every time he gave them an umbrella, he would say, "I don't know how long it's going to be raining, but I do know that you can keep dry under this portable sanctuary." And soon enough, everyone in the whole town had their own umbrella. They would take it with them. And if townspeople passed by someone else without an umbrella, they would give their umbrella and pass on the words. Now it is known by the whole town. I I don't know how long it's going to be raining, but I do know you can keep dry under the sanctuary. Thank you guys for helping me tell this story. And I hope that when you see someone who's in need of something, if you have something to offer, I hope you will share with them. And I hope this is a place where you can come and find sanctuary as well. And I hope, thank you. And I hope you guys all have a great week. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for being in this sanctuary. Nice job. Thank you. I know.
Tis a gift to be simple, tis a gift to be free, tis a gift to come down where we ought to be. And when we find ourselves in the place just right, to be in the valley of love and delight, when true simplicity is gained, to bow and to bend, we shan't be ashamed to turn will be our delight, till by turn we come round right.
Good morning. I'm Barbara Garland, one of the Pastoral Care Team Associates. In our community here at Westside, we make time each week to share pieces of our lives with one another. We do this because each person in this community has value. Members of the team can be identified wearing a Pastoral Care Team badge. Please submit your joys and concerns to the team by completing one of these orange forms at the welcome desk, emailing us at pastoralcare@westsideu.org, or contacting any member of the team. The other current members of our team are myself, Carol Kappa, John Fisher, Barbara Crotty, Lisa Franey, and Jane Hardwick. Would the members of the team please raise your hands so our congregation can see who you are? Thank you. We share concerns with one another today, knowing that sorrows come into each person's life, knowing that together we offer comfort. As I read your concern, would you please stand or raise your hand so all can know who you are? And this concern is from some members who've moved on to Colorado, from Allison Islas Burke. Her father is in the hospital with kidney stones and gallstones and is probably having surgery today to remove his gallbladder. So please remember Allison's father and keep him in your prayers and thoughts. We also share our joys with one another, knowing too that joys come into all our lives, knowing that together our voices can raise in a chorus of celebration. And again, please stand or raise your hand if this is your joy. And this is from Thayer and Cindy. Our long wait for our house in Hawaii Hisel has finally happened. Yay! And now we get to find a home, leave the small places we've camped in, and stop paying for an expensive mortgage and HOA fee. So thank you. So we make space each week for musical centering, knowing the life and experience of every person matters, and together our lights shine brighter. As we hold all the joys and concern among us, both those spoken and unspoken, let us sing together number 1002, Comfort Me, in the Teal Hymnal.
Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul. Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul. Sing with me, sing with me, sing with me, oh my soul. Sing with me, sing with me,
Good morning. My name is Jana Francois Kennard. I can say my name, y'all. And I will be leading our meditation this morning. I now invite you to relax your mind and body and join me in a time of meditation. Today, we will begin with an introduction titled On Imagination and Being an Ally by the Reverend Douglas Taylor. Afterwards, our bell will sound to signal the start of a minute of silence, or I call it 10 deep breaths. So it may not be exactly a minute, but I just breathe with me 10 times, and it works perfectly. A minute of silence for your own meditation, prayer, or reflection, and it will sound again at the end. There is one word that is particularly vital to understanding people who are in some way different. One word that allows for the hospitality towards strangers to be real and authentic. One word for the work of being an ally to come alive. The word is imagination. Imagination is the critical piece of recognizing and honoring differences. There's no way to fully understand another person's experiences. You know your own experiences. Someone may be able to tell you about their experiences, but you can't fully understand them the way we like to think we can. In a very real way, we are each isolated within our own experiences. I can only know what is going on from my perspective. You can tell me what you see and experience, but I have to filter what you tell me through the only connection I have with the world, and that is my own experiences. And that would be a dire scenario if that really were the end of the story. But all is not lost. There is hope through imagination. Imagination builds a bridge between what I know of my experiences and what you share with me of yours. This is why so much of religious language is built upon metaphors. I have an experience and then use an analogy to help you imagine what my experience was like. Imagination is the bridge. There are a great many things I have not experienced. I don't know what it is like to have a parent die. I don't know what it is like to feel threatened because of my skin color or my religion. I don't know what it's like to be openly gay. I don't know what it's like to be in prison. I just don't know. I've never experienced any other I have never experienced any of those things. I can, however, gain enough of an understanding of each of those because I can listen and because I have experienced many other things and I know how to listen, or at least I try, y'all. I try. And I have a good imagination. Stretch yourself. Imagine a new possibility. Begin where you are. Listen to other people. Entertain strangers in your midst. And stay open to the hope of new being bursting into your life in ways you've never imagined. May we be good company to one another in our questions and our journey. May it be so. Blessed be. Amen.
Thank you, Jana. Here at Westside, we practice our UU faith in a variety of ways. One of those ways is by giving 100% of our gifts to our weekly collection, unless otherwise designated, to support organizations who carry out our transcendent values of compassion, justice, and equity. Westside's plate offering for October is the League of Women Voters of Tarrant County. League of Women Voters Tarrant is a nonpartisan grassroots organization that encourages active, informed civic participation and works to influence public policy through education and advocacy. In addition to member due, we rely on support from the community to allow us to reach voters in Tarrant County, ensuring they have the knowledge and confidence to participate fully in our democracy. Our voters' guide and presentations on voting rights enable Tarrant County voters to make informed choices at the ballot box. Recently, we joined with the Texas Civil Rights Project and the League of United Latin American Citizens to file a lawsuit against Judge Tim O'Hare. Woohoo! For reals. Tarrant County and the Tarrant County Commissioners Court to invalidate the gerrymandered, racially biased redistricting of the 4 county districts. Our league did not take this decision lightly. We assessed the potential risk to our organization, the importance of our relationships with elected officials, and the additional resource constraints for our all-volunteer nonprofit organization. We are putting our mission first. Our mission to empower voters and defend democracy means that we must call out the unfair and undemocratic redistricting process, the racial discrimination, and the dilution of the voting power of members of our Black and brown communities. It is, excuse me, if one of us is impacted, all of us are impacted by the erosion of our democratic principles. This erosion continues at the national level. Most new citizens are people of color and women. And in late August, U.S. Citizens and Immigration Services banned organizations from voter registration at the naturalization ceremonies. The National League stated by shutting out the league and other civic partners, USCIS is making it harder for new citizens to register to vote, which is, I don't know what's wrong with me, which is yet another intimidation tactic and attack on the immigration community. Voter suppression works in direct opposition to Unitarian Universalist principles and shared values. Please give generously as you are able to the League of Women Voters Tarrant. If you are given towards your stewardship pledge in cash, please use the envelopes at the bottom of the bowl as it is passed. Now let us enjoy the musical offering of our second Sunday choir. We'll be singing singing a new to us hymn medley which speaks of compassion and concern. If you wish, you may follow along in the great hymnals at song number 125 and 127. From the crush of wealth and power, and can I see another's woes?
Mind
Thank you, Second Sunday Choir and Dr. Yuki Kumamoto. Now we're here in Search of Empathy by Dr. Reverend Russell Elleven.
Hello, my friends. It's good to be with you again today, albeit virtually. I hope you're all doing well, and I hope you are enjoying being with your West Side community this Sunday morning. So I don't know about you, but as the world, as I have understood it, seems to be changing dramatically, I find myself drawn to social media. On the one hand, I very much want to keep up with what's going on. On the other hand, at the very same time, I also try to limit my exposure to social media. I purposefully don't look at Instagram as much as I used to, knowing that I may be missing out. At times like these, I can easily be sucked into the news cycle of regular news programming too. Sometimes I believe it is somehow my duty to stay as informed as possible. But I also know that the news and social media both have the potential to sap the energy right out of me. Both news and social media can pull me down a rabbit hole of information, and I can begin to feel helpless and even hopeless. So I limit my exposure to both. I've cut back my news intake to 3 trusted sources, and I now set a timer to limit my intake of social media. I don't see everything I used to see, but I'm okay with that right now. I feel comfortable that I am receiving most of the information I need without exposing myself to more negativity than I need. Because I can get to doom scrolling as much as anybody if I allow myself to get caught up in the algorithm that feeds my feed and influences my thoughts and feelings. We probably all understand this is not the healthiest way to spend time. But it was during one of these scrolling events on Instagram where I saw something that at first didn't make much sense to me, and then it made more sense than I cared to admit. The account I was looking at was National Public Radio, and the headline was, "How Empathy Came to Be Seen as a Weakness in Conservative Circles." The story is still available if you care to look it up. The NPR story says that many on the far right, the Christian nationalist end of the theopolitical spectrum, view empathy as something that can get in the way of their social pursuits, that loving their neighbor has limits, especially, for instance, with immigration policy. If you empathize too strongly with a stranger, they'd say, you cannot do what you believe to be best for yourself, for your own family, and for the interests of your country. Some of these people also say that women in particular are subject to the feelings of empathy, that because of this, the church has become too feminized, along with the political discourse. That empathy, that ability to perceive another person's perspective, to understand, feel, and possibly share and respond to another's experience, is detrimental to their faith. These people read the Bible in a different way than I do. These people hear the story of Jesus and do not hear what I hear. These people would not, I don't believe, be comfortable with a religion that puts love at the center. In order to dig a little more deeply into the topic, I found a fascinating book by John Compton, a professor of political science, who wrote a book titled The End of Empathy: Why White Protestants Stopped Loving Their Neighbors. I can't recommend the book enough if you enjoy a good read that combines history, religion, and politics. I'd encourage you to see if your library has a copy. Compton takes us back to the closing of the 19th century and the beginning of the 20th. Back in those days, church attendance in the United States was quite high. In fact, your standing in the community was often associated with what house of worship you attended. At that time, the clergy also held a special place of authority in their respective houses of worship that often extended into the general community. The minister of your congregation could vouch for you when searching for employment, and if you were to move to another village or city, a letter of introduction from your previous minister could put you in good stead with your new church home. As your social status grew, you might transfer to a more prestigious denomination, like the Presbyterians or the Episcopalians. Church leaders of prestigious denominations during this time were enthralled with what would become known as the social gospel. Adherents to the social gospel believed that the second coming of Jesus would not occur until good Christians worked to rid current society of social evils. They believed the part of the Lord's Prayer that says, "Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven." This directed them to confront societal failings and support government policy like Roosevelt's New Deal and later civil rights legislation. They strongly believed that creating a social safety net would go far in creating a world where Jesus would return in glory. A deep sense that the love of God required love for neighbor, tangible love, practical love, empathetic love. Government, they believed, could play a crucial role in bringing about a world that reflected heaven. Again and again, organizations like the Ecumenical National Council of Churches seemed to be on the winning side of supporting governmental programs that attempted to create a nation that helped all of its citizens when things got tough with employment or due to illness or to allow the opportunity to retire. Those mainline Protestant denominations were very influential in political and everyday life until the late 1960s or so. In fact, according to Compton, it may be difficult to overemphasize the influence the social gospel and mainline Protestant denominations played in shaping American policy during the church's heyday. But people began to drift away from these influential churches for a variety of reasons. For instance, more and more people were attending college thanks to the GI Bill and other societal circumstances. Where it used to be it was the support of your minister that helped you secure employment, the college degree proved even more helpful for societal advancement. Our society was also increasingly mobile. People were moving between states and across the country at ever-increasing rates. And this, coupled with a heightened sense of religion being a personal rather than a communal pursuit, led to a drastic decrease in church attendance in mainline Protestant denominations. But there was also a considerable faction of the populace who didn't believe their ministers or their churches should be involved in policy matters, in political matters at all. particularly when those policies increased their taxes and did not directly benefit them. There was a feeling that clergy in these denominations were more progressive than the members in the pews. And this feeling was probably very likely accurate. And the congregations were aging. Young people left the churches in droves, and it was mostly only the elders who stayed. And as the congregation aged, the differences between the young clergy and the older membership seemed to grow even more pronounced. Older people in the general population are typically more conservative than the younger crowd. And rather than focus on the collective good, they retreated into their individual needs and concerns. That was the beginning, says Compton, of the end of empathy. When mainline Protestant congregations all but abandoned the idea of creating a place on earth like it was in heaven. Now, it seems many conservative ministers better reflect the attitudes of their people in the pew. These ministers are no longer preaching an idea of loving one's neighbor, but instead preach against social services and programs they deem to be wasteful and irresponsible. Now today, when the whole world seems upside down and the need for empathy seems to be at its peak, we find these preachers and authors and speakers from the Christian right telling their followers that empathy is the enemy, that empathy can get in the way of our better judgment, that empathy can get in the way of deportations, that empathy can get in the way of properly punishing other human beings when they so obviously deserve it. Quite honestly, all of this makes me even more proud to be a Unitarian Universalist. I feel pretty confident that ours is not a faith that is short on empathy. I believe the view of our UU faith is that we need more empathy, not less. And certainly not some rationale that says empathy is toxic or gets in the way when it doesn't seem to benefit me or my bottom line. And I'll be honest in saying that our congregations have their troubles too. We are not perfect by any means. While our rate of membership decline has not been as drastic as the mainline churches, we are also fewer in number than we used to be. There are fewer UU congregations than there used to be. And we have our own work to do around inclusion, accessibility, and justice. But I suspect that you, like me, want to be connected to a faith that tries as best it can to put love at the center. That our default mode is loving, is empathetic, rather than mean-spirited. That we show up to marches and protests in support of others' humanity rather than in support of taking away human rights. We are, I believe, a spectacular group of empathetic troublemakers. And I wouldn't have it any other way. I believe we take part in parades because of empathy. I believe we protest because of empathy. I believe we resist because of empathy. Empathy and love is at the heart of our faith. So I believe that empathy plays a great role in our lives as Unitarian Universalists. So the good news is that if you, like me, are also in search of empathy, you can find it here at Westside. I believe it is our collective sense of empathy that informs our congregations, our people, and our association. Will love always win? I honestly don't know right now. We find ourselves in a time that does not seem to choose love, that does not seem to empathize with our neighbor, that does not seem to honor the humanity of all people. But I will squarely bet on love. I will bet on this church that appreciates and encourages empathy and the collective power of people who choose to care even when the world tells them not to. And I'm going to bet that in the long run, the United States is better than what we are seeing right now. May empathy guide our thoughts. May empathy shape our choices. May empathy define our faith. Because even if love doesn't always win immediately, I believe it is the only thing that ever really will. As we rise in body or spirit and join together in the singing of our closing hymn, number 6, in your gray hymnal, Just as Long as I Have Breath, we will sing all verses unless your song leader specifies otherwise.
Russell knows best. Just as long as I have breath, I must answer yes to life. Though with pain I made my way, still with hope I meet each day. If they ask what I did well, tell them I said yes to life. Just as long as vision lasts, I must answer yes to truth. In my dream and in my dark, always that elusive spark. If they ask what I did well, tell them I said yes to truth. Just as long as my heart beats, I must answer yes to love. Disappointment pierced me through, still I kept on loving you. If they ask what I did best, tell them I said yes to love.
Our closing words, Prayer for a Time in Need of Empathy by Tanya Cawthron. God, teach us to consider also how others experience the world, to understand how my reality and their reality are different, and yet they share qualities of the same core desire. Teach us to listen for shared feelings, for places of connection. Teach us to be curious and open to hearing differences. Teach us to love into brokenness to give space for, to be patient with healing. Let us be strong in our vulnerability and our not knowing, in exposing our less than perfect, scary bits to those in front of us. Give us courage to face judgment, scorn, and hatred because of the greater good. Let us be disciples of essential goodness, strong in our knowing that in each being there is a divine light of the soul. Give us strength, God, to keep feeling empathy even when we are tired and broken, for it is then that you are feeling the empathy through us. Amen. The chalice is now extinguished, but the light lives on in the minds and hearts and souls of each one of you. Carry that flame with you as you leave this place, and share it with those you know, with those you love, and most especially with those whom you have yet to meet. You're all invited to stay after the service for conversation and fellowship. There are coffee, water, and snacks in the fellowship hall. So if you'll join me in our congregation closing. Go in peace, seeking justice. Go in peace, committed to the equal rights and opportunities for all. Go in the peace that is created when together we build communities of true solidarity, deep compassion, and fierce, unrelenting love. Go in peace. May it be so, blessed be, and amen. Have a great week, everyone. Thanks for coming.